Hi guys, I'm Lindsay. I am from Chicago. I was originally from Philadelphia and moved out here a few years ago, and I am a recovering heroin addict.
9 years old, I was running with the thugs, hustling for some money, started fucking with some drugs. Jody on the block with some Crips and some guns. Almost lost my life, mama almost lost a son.
Okay, right now we are looking at your arm, and these are basically scars from injecting with the needle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I was 15, I started dabbling with weed. It was just a thing that I would do after school, but I noticed even from there, I was very obsessive with it. I wanted to do it every day. I wanted to do it all the time. I needed it. Like, it was becoming obsessive. And, my parents put me in a little, after patient rehab after school, and they thought it was, under control at that point. And I graduated high school and was thinking I was living life, and I just wanted to experiment with everything. And at the time, I was put on benzos for my anxiety, and, I was drinking, I was smoking, I would pop pills, and I was friends with my drug dealer, and he was a heroin addict. And I asked him one day, I was like, can I try some of that? And he was like, yeah, sure. So he handed it to me, and I snorted it, and it was like the best feeling in the world. Like, I felt like the best I ever felt. All my emotions were relieved. I was on cloud nine. I literally remember that. And from that point, I was snorting heroin here and there for a couple of years. I would do it for maybe a month and then stop, and then get clean, and then do it again. And it was a here and there thing. It wasn't until I decided to get needles one day that it really progressed into a really dark thing.
Okay, guys, so if you've watched up to this point right now, first off, thank you so much for listening to Lindsay's story. I met Lindsay a while back on my platform. She was a supporter of mine. One day we did a video chat, and I quickly learned that she had a darkness around her, a darkness living inside of her, but it wasn't her. After hearing her story, it made so much sense to me, and I never told her what I felt at that point. But once I did tell her everything I was feeling, her answers made so much sense. I knew that she had a darkness, possibly something demonic. I believe it to be demonic, hanging around her. And I explained to her that I don't believe that she just started doing heroin and walking down this path that she did just because it just happened. Even though we know everything happens for a reason, this chance was altered, and it was altered by a darkness. They may have seen her in a weak state and decided to prey on her. That's usually the way it happens. And knowing that they got in there once before, they're hanging around hoping that she slips again. There's not a doubt in my mind. I mean, I would bet everything I have that this girl has a real, honest to God, dark attachment. And I personally believe that it is very, very evil. I believe this had a lot to do with her friend that you're about to hear about. I believe that this is altering her life in so many ways. Every time I talk to her, I feel it. I do sessions with people all over the world, and I have never felt anything as strong as the connection between me and her and the darkness that comes with it. I felt this before in person with somebody, but online, video chat, face to face, I can see it, I can feel it, and she needed help. But I wanted to do this mini little documentary, let her tell her story, because it is inspirational. Heroin's a very hard thing for people to get off of. Nowadays, they're cutting it with fentanyl, and people are dying left and right. They're having overdoses. You know, she was lucky that she got away from that she got away from the life. And she's been sober for 10 months. So many prayers and best wishes to her, guys. Definitely leave comments below and let her know, man, she can do this. Stay strong. I think she's got it in the bag. But the thing is she has this darkness standing around her at all times, waiting for her to slip. And that's what they do, man. They prey on people that are weak. And she is weak because even though it's been 10 months, it's not long enough. You know, I quit smoking cigarettes like 9 or 10 years ago. And cigarettes are way different than heroin. But even a year down the road, 2 years down the road, I would see somebody smoke a cigarette and it would bother me. You know, 4 or 5 years down the road, it got to where it didn't bother me at all. I didn't care. But it takes time. So something like heroin is definitely a whole different story. So as you're going to watch this, you're going to understand more now what we believe is going on with Lindsay, what I know is going on with Lindsay. And after talking to her and explaining it to her, she believes it too. She sees it, she feels it. And here's the rest of her story now.
From that point, I was probably injecting myself over 20 times a day. My whole life was consumed with drugs. I was getting arrested. I was in and out of jail. There's points when I was homeless. There's points where I was locked in hotels. I was meeting random people. I got raped. There was a lot of dark things in my life that happened. And I just thought it was something other than drugs that I was hiding. But the drugs just made everything worse. Well, every time I went to rehab, I was in and out of rehabs for a while as well. I probably went to over 20 inpatients all over the world too, like California to Pennsylvania, Chicago. I tried everywhere. I just thought that's what I had to do to get sober. But it really wasn't, because every time I was going to rehab, it wasn't for myself. And the last time that I went, it was truly to get better for myself. On November 19th of last year, that my friend and I were planning on overdosing together and just leaving the world. We were done with it. We were done with our addictions. We were done with everything that it caused us, all the pain and misery. And my friend passed away before I could. It was really from that point on that I was like, you know, I was this far away from death and I saw it in front of my face. I literally saw the life drained out of somebody, and it was like, wow, like that was going to be me. And I really, really, really wanted it this time. So that's where I'm at today.
Do you feel that there was something maybe along this ride besides the drugs, something that possibly could have been manipulating your actions, maybe something dark, maybe something spiritual, maybe something evil, even demonic, that could have been riding shotgun with you on this roller coaster ride of addiction, living fast, to the point to where you were ready to give your life for it? Could that have been a manipulated thing, from everything from the drugs to that breaking point?
Oh yeah, 100%. I believe that something was attached to me. I think around 16 years old, it started to become attached to me because I was in an abusive relationship. And there's actually this park that we would go to, and I would always see shadow figures and like really weird things there. It was just a really weird like vibe I got there, and I would always see stuff with my friends. And there was this one day where we were smoking and we were sitting there, and it was just me and my one friend, and we saw this red shadow figure with like red beaming eyes staring at us. And we were like staring at it, and then we stared at each other and we're like, let's go away. Like, I remember that so vividly, and it just freaked me out. And it was always like when I was in my bedroom, there's like a weird vibe about it. And I've had people even tell me that my bedroom, there's something wrong with it at my other house in Pennsylvania. Because that's where I did drugs. That's where I cut myself. That's where I did like dark, evil things. Like, it was not a good vibe there. You know, as much as I try to get that sense out of there, I mean, you just really couldn't. It was everywhere. It was in the walls of the room. So when I eventually did move from that house to here, you know, now here, you know, I did use in this room, and I have done things in this room, and, you know, I kind of dabbled in the craft as well. So it's kind of like you know, I notice things a lot more, and I do believe there's something with me because I have dreams that you just can't explain. It's just, you can't explain it. I feel like there's somebody watching me at night. I just always feel something, and I feel like something just wants me to go back to my evil ways. It likes when I'm using drugs. It likes when I dye my hair darker. Like, it likes all these things, and it's so weird, but, like, I almost notice it. My mom says when I'm using drugs, I'm possessed.
You were around black magic, right?
Yes.
Were you involved with any Satanist?
Yes, my friend that passed away was.
Your friend that died from an overdose in the car.
Yeah.
Do you still have that car?
Yes.
You have the car that you guys both were going to OD in. He OD'd. That's your car that you drive.
Yeah.
Do you feel energies in that thing that maybe resonate from that day, that time? When you get into your car, does it feel like a time machine back to that hell?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
As we are talking right now, do you feel a darkness around you?
Yeah. I kind of just feel like something changed. I don't know. It's weird.
Do you feel like when you talk about your progressing with being clean, living a better life, that you feel that intensity sometimes gets stronger?
Yeah.
Almost like, I don't want you to do good. Come back to the dark side. Get weak again so I can prey on you the way I want to.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I have the thoughts in my head, but I don't know if it's my actual thoughts or if it's somebody else talking through my thoughts.
Right. That's exactly what it would feel like, and that's kind of what I wanted to know. And I know we've briefly talked before, so I have an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that yours was way past a basic drug addiction. I feel like yours, that's why I wanted to do this, because when we spoke before, I said there's something else here with this girl, and not only do I feel it, I can see it in her eyes. And it's like, you're there. You're there. Your progress is real. You are in this current state, but I can see there's something hanging back there, and it's not just a fix. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
So this is my car, and this is the passenger seat. This is the exact spot that Matt was when he injected the heroin and he overdosed. This is the exact spot. I keep this key around it because it reminds me of him. He always had a key around his neck. So yeah, I don't really have any people sit in this passenger seat ever. I usually just keep it to him because it's like a memorial almost to me. And usually at nighttime when I'm driving alone, I'll feel him, or I'll just feel an immense amount of sadness, which I would say was the exact emotion of that day. So this is the exact spot. And I believe he is here. Hi guys, so we are in my room right now, and I'll show you around a little bit. So over here we have my bed. It's where I have all my nightmares every night. It's been a thing ever since I got sober. And it's obviously also because of my attachment that I have. Over here we just have a cute little decor that I have. My dream catchers, got my TV, my mirror, portal, as Jody says. And then we got my cute little altar, my salt lamps, my candles, my crystals, my Buddha, and some important things to me, like my cross, my AA coin, and my cute little Ouija board necklace. I was actually going to give that to Jody, but it's like really girly, so. And then we got my cool little diffuser and lava lamp and my makeup table and some books that I'm currently reading. Yeah. So yeah, that's really about it here. And yeah. So I just wanted to give you a quick update. I've been actually getting really weird thoughts in my mind, and I clearly know it's the entity, but it's been really scary. The thoughts are not my own, and it's obviously more using thoughts, you know, telling me that I'm gonna die, that it's his, and the entity pretty much has been telling me that it's not going to leave me, and that it is his forever. It's been kind of crazy ever since we started, but I have been noticing that it has diminished a little bit. Nothing crazy has happened, so we will keep you updated.
All right, Lindsay. So we are like, let's say we're like day 6 into communicating, conversing over this whole thing here. You really wanted to end this with a spirit box session, and I thought that was a great idea because we want to see if this darkness can speak. Now, before we get into this, I just want to say one thing. If we ever get the chance to get together, we do plan on making this more of a full documentary because your story goes way beyond what we were able to cover here in 20 minutes. Like, this is...
Yeah, pretty bad. It's dark.
Right. So they know, just to catch them up here, you know, on day 6, let's say, whatever day it's been now, you're still feeling this darkness, and you said since we started this, it's been pretty hectic for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of stuff have you been feeling today, would you say?
Definitely a lot of dark thoughts still that come through my mind that I know aren't me, but of course it sounds like myself thinking. But a lot of using thoughts and just laughing at me, cursing at me. Yeah, that's pretty much all, other than just weird incidences happening that never happened before, like my bank account getting hacked and yeah.
That's pretty much all. That's pretty much a lot. All right, we'll go ahead and do the spirit box session now.
Okay.
All right. Are you there with Lindsay right now? Who are you? What are you? Were you messing with her today? Were you trying to manipulate her mind into using drugs again? How do you feel what I've been talking about with her? What does that make you feel? Let me ask you, are you to the left of her right now? I feel like you're to my right of her. If I'm looking at her, you're to the right. Is that you? Hi. Are you trying to touch her heart right now? Did you just press on her chest area? Burn. I know you did. Do you want her to go back to using drugs? Don't be fucking scared to speak to me. Tell us. You know, I have to tell you, you're the quietest, scariest little demon I've ever seen.
fucking with a girl, huh? Why don't the demons leave from her side and come to my side? I dare you. I'm lots of fun. I'll fucking play with you. I'm afraid.
I'm afraid of you. We'll go over there. I'm no fun. I don't do drugs anymore.
Listen, she's not going to do drugs no more. She's not going to slip. She's out of the life. She's got her shit together. She's heading in the right path. You need to leave her alone. Do you understand? This ain't going to be easy for you. 30 seconds to spit out a message, then I'm turning your microphone off. I just thought you were a lot stronger. I thought you were strong enough to talk. I didn't know you were just weak enough to fuck with a girl.
You can say something, you little bitch.
I think it probably said all it was going to say really in the beginning, in the middle, and then it was just like, I don't need to say anything else. But I definitely feel like we agitated it, and...
Yeah, I feel really angry.
Yeah. That's not you. That's not you.
I always feel that pressure on my chest.
Yeah.
I didn't know why.
Yeah, that's definitely not you. That's not Lindsay. You're feeling what it's feeling. That's why I felt see, I can feel what they are doing to people. I felt the pressure on my chest right at the moment that I started pissing it off because it knew what I was about to say. And then I could tell that it was doing it to you. I just got off the phone here a little bit ago with Lindsay. This is what she sent me. Let me know what you hear in the EVPs. I definitely feel so weird right now. I'm hot and my chest is tight. I feel disassociated almost. I swear if you can get rid of it, I owe you my life or a lot of merch. But seriously, yeah, man, she's got it bad.
This is a very unique case. The trouble with this case for me is the fact that I live so far away from Lindsay. I mean, you might not say it's that far, but I live in Florida. She lives in Illinois. She's not a hop and a skip away. If she was just down the street, I could work with her more closely, and I could really help her get well faster. This is not something that just a basic cleansing is going to help. A lot of people say, just do cleansings. We should all reset our vibration every day, not just when something bad happens. So cleansings are imminent no matter what. But in this situation here, a lot of this battle is fought within with her. And I've explained this to her now. We have talked. These entities prey on several different things. But the number one thing they prey on, and I've said this to you guys over and over and over, is fear. And it's a lot easier to say, well, you just got to get rid of your fear. You know, like I've been afraid of heights my entire life and they still fuck with me. But it's a lot different when I know it's something I'm living with every day that I have to face. I'm going to find that. I'm going to fight that fear. I'm going to find out a way to beat it. I did it years ago because when I first came into the paranormal field, I had a really dark attachment. Maybe not the same as Lindsay's, definitely as strong, but it didn't push me down that path. The way that I beat this entity was just learning how to not fear it, making myself not fear it, and pushing it out of my mind, thinking about anything else other than what it was trying to make me feel. So anytime I'd feel something creeping, I would turn my attention to something else. And I got to where I got really good at that. And after a while, it grew weaker. It grew uninterested in me. And after a few months, it was gone. Hers is a little bit different of a situation because she's still fighting addiction. But she still has to get to a point where she doesn't fear this thing. She doesn't fear her dream. She doesn't fear going back to heroin because she just knows no matter what, I'm not doing it. I have the willpower to be strong. I'm going to beat this because I want to live. I want things in life, and I know what I'm going to do. There's no way I'm going back. I don't even need to think about, if I go back. There is no if. It's done. It's over. Once that is felt and known within, this thing is going to slowly make its way to the door. And all she has to do is kick it in its ass and tell it where to go. If she can get to that point, she can beat this. She is not possessed. She has something that is possessing her emotions, but she has not been completely overcome to the point to where she doesn't own herself. She still owns her body. She still owns her heart, her thoughts. Even though they're being manipulated, she is still there. And she has so much hope and so much potential. And I want to see her go far. I hope you guys do too. Like I said, keep her in your prayers. Lindsay, you know I'm here for you to help you as a spiritual advisor, as a friend. You know, I thank you for your support. And I'm glad that I reach people through my channel like this. Because truly, I think she needed somebody that understood her situation. That believed her what was going on and had, you know, knowledge to offer about this. This is what I've been studying. I cannot wait to put out my book one day. It's a long, long ways away. But that said, man, this is what I do, because I want to learn from these documentations. And a lot of that you guys don't even get to see. And you say, well, that's weird. How come you don't show us all of it, Jody? Because I can't show you everything I feel. But I can sit down, I can get into my element and tell you, describe the very details of what it feels like. And that's what will change the game. That's what will save lives. So there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't see, that you don't know. But I can promise you this, man. This is very deep. This is going on with a lot of people. 90% of the suicides in the world are due to some kind of spirit manipulation. If you want to call it demonic attachments, I believe it's more demonic. I believe that demons are out there every day, every second, as we speak right now, looking for somebody to bring down, preying on somebody right now that's putting the rope literally around their neck. I could go on forever about this, but what I want to do is I want Lindsay's story to inspire, and I want you to question, is everything in your life happening just because you have shit luck? Or do you need to start closing off the dark things that may be manipulating what's going on with you? Think about it, guys. It's Jody Dean, Mr. Hunting the Dead, aka Mr. Sweet Nightmares. Until next time, sweet nightmares.